Neverending Chain by Dragon Translator, Chapter 167. Kissing Expert? To humans, Meatlug said before Hiccup could even formulate a reply, the action is similar to us as nuzzling is our mates. Alpha and Lady Alpha seem to do this action to likely strengthen their bond, just like the rubbing of his neck earlier. Hiccup saw several dragons, including the alpha pair, nod their heads as if in understanding. Since it suffocates the other, a lightly blue-hued Gruntsicle began, it probably shows trust between them, as well as their courtship continues. Shadowfire choked and then snickered. No, he said, shaking his head. Despite what Toothless thought, and continues to call it, kissing doesn't suffocate the humans. It's actually an enjoyable activity for those who are mates, or to become mates, as I'm sure Alpha and Lady Alpha will attest to. Hiccup felt his cheeks burn. He then saw Gita cut her eyes at her son. Since when did you become such an expert on the courting of humans kissing each other? Hiccup grew intrigued when Shadowfire cast his gaze at the others, before turning around and staring at his mother and smirking. Netflix and YouTube. Hiccup blinked at the unfamiliar words, but Gita seemed to know exactly what they were, since her eyes narrowed and her face turned neutral. Shadowfire was unfazed as he snickered. Also, Nana explained many things to me and Frost while you were at mage training. Of course she did, Gita muttered, running her hand over her face. From the word we gained the last time humans and dragons could use the common tongue, Toothless's mother began, shifting to look at Gita. We know young ones will call their father or mother's mother that. Was this your mother that Shadowfire speaks of? Gita took a deep breath, and Hiccup saw Astrid place a hand upon the mage's forearm, and saw Gita's thankful smile. She was my father's mother, Gita said. My mother and her bonded dragon now fly with the ancestors, and have done so since I was an older fledgling. Hiccup blinked as all the dragons from the nest, even Toothless's parents, began crooning in a soft, melodious tone. He saw his nest dragons react and join the others, even Shadowfire. The western dragon even kept it to the old tongue for this. Thank you, Gita whispered, apparently understanding what was going on. Hiccup looked at Toothless as those right with him finished, but the sound of the crooning continued up and down the corridor. A song of passage, Toothless said, his tone irreverent and soft. Even though Elder Gita's mother and aunt have long been flying with the ancestors, we still sing that song. It's usually done just as a dragon passes, to ensure a safe flight to the ancestors. Is that how dragons honour their dead? Fishlegs asked in a tiny voice. I have asked that of Lawkeeper, but he still seems reluctant to tell me. He said I will learn in time. Toothless's father sighed. It is the first part. The remainder is not something talked about, until full trust is known between the two speaking. That Lawkeeper says you will learn in time, means he is coming to trust you fully. Oh, Fishlegs said, and Hiccup could hear the slight hurt and slight excitement in his friend's voice. Then I will wait until he trusts me completely before asking again. My prince, a light green and yellow woolly howls began, staring at Hiccup, its voice and the smaller chin scales announcing it to be female. What title is Lawkeeper in your nest? I was not to be at the welcoming and naming ceremony as I was on patrol, but my cousin was off duty, and he said that the title was given during the tale. Hiccup smiled as his friends, human and dragon alike, snickered. They were getting used to this question. Lawkeeper isn't a name. Lawkeeper isn't a title, it's a name. He's a flameskin and is the oldest dragon living in the nest, so he is the head elder. When he and the other dragons joined my nest, I asked if I could give him a name, as there were so many flameskins, and I knew I would get confused. He said elders hold the tale of the ancestors. To Vikings, tales are the law of our people, so I asked if he would mind the name Lawkeeper, since he keeps the tales, the law of his people. The woolly howl tilted her head. Clever, she said. I have heard that humans are not blessed with a dragon's sense of smell, or you would all not let yourself smell like that. So giving your nestmates names would help you. The dragoness's eyes widened, and she bowed, wings spreading as she was able with a flame whipper to one side and a gronscle to the other. Forgive me, my prince. I meant no insult. Hiccup chuckled. It's okay. First day we met Shadowfire, he informed all of us that the humans of my nest smelled like they were 3 barrels of fish left in the sun for several moon cycles. I believe it was 3, Alpha, Shadowfire said. One of the three western dragons with the group stared at Shadowfire as if it could not believe what it was hearing. The dragon, one that stood a height slightly shorter than Shadowfire, and had black scales like him, but had a dusk blue to its horns, chin, neck and underbelly, and under its wings. Where Shadowfire had silver in those areas, shook itself. Your Alpha does not reprimand you for that? It asked, its voice female. Shadowfire chuckled. The nest wasn't formed then, he said, and the other dragons had not called him Alpha, and they were visiting my mother's den. And I left Alpha out of that comment. He smelled nice, and still does now. The other humans are learning, though. The western dragon female blinked and looked at Hiccup. For his part, Hiccup just snorted and shrugged. I like to smell clean, he said, and then Toothless would start that licking thing as soon as we became friends. Hiccup cut his eyes at his brother. Which does not wash out, by the way. Still not meant to, brother, Toothless retorted. Before anyone could make another comment, an explosion rocked the corridors. Toothless's son screeched out in fear and tried to become one with Hiccup, who immediately knelt as he was able to comfort them. Toothless's father groaned as a loud roar followed the explosion. I am going to have to give her an extended break for this, he muttered. End of chapter. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed this one. I just like when the humans are explaining human culture to dragons. It's so funny. And Netflix and YouTube reference. Nice one, Shadowfire. Good breaking of the fourth wall there. I like that they do that occasionally for humour, but they don't do it too often, so it's sometimes easy to forget that they're not from that time period. Anyway, you guys know the drill. Like, comment and subscribe and hit that bell to be notified whenever I upload a new video. Have a good day, night, or whatever time zone you're in. Bye my guys, gals and non-binary pals. I'll see you in another video. Take care.